Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, with a real quick video going into the holiday on the upcoming light heavyweight championship fight between champion and future Hall of Famer Bernard Hopkins and former champion Chad Dawson. Now, before I go further, just remember the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. You know that saying, the devil is in the details? Sometimes the devil is in the CompuBox numbers. Bernard Hopkins has only lost to one southpaw, Joe Calzaghe. Now, in line with my theory on predicting boxing, what I've written about, I went back and I looked at that fight, right? Because it's Hopkins' Waterloo against the southpaw. And in that fight, the CompuBox numbers are an eye-opener. Over 12 rounds, Bernard Hopkins, according to CompuBox, only landed 11 jabs. Right? Joe Calzaghe landed 4 times the number of jabs, right? Throwing twice the number of jabs that Bernard Hopkins threw. Calzaghe landed 45 jabs. He threw 224 jabs. Hopkins only threw 93 in the fight. Also, if you look at Hopkins' numbers against another southpaw, the current cruiserweight champion, Antonio Tarver, you're going to see that, according to CompuBox, for the first 4 rounds of that fight, and this is a fight that Hopkins won impressively, right? For the first 4 rounds of that fight, Bernard Hopkins landed no jabs, right? Orthodox fighters have given Hopkins a problem with jabs. You'll see that Jermaine Taylor, those 2 fights, the first fight where Taylor takes Hopkins' title, half of Taylor's punches are jabs, right? I like Chad Dawson in this fight. I like Dawson big. Dawson has an excellent jab. He's changed trainers from Eddie Mustafa Muhammad for the Jean Pascal fight that he lost to Emmanuel Stewart. And it might surprise some people to know that Dawson, who personality-wise gives the impression that he's low volume in the ring, is actually high volume. When he fought Adrian Diacanu, did you know that Dawson threw more jabs in that fight than Jermaine Taylor threw in both of his wins over Bernard Hopkins, and that Joe Calzaghe threw? In fact, Dawson threw 353 jabs against Adrian Diacanu. I believe that Dawson, particularly fighting under Emmanuel Stewart, who likes fighters to lead with their jabs, who likes fighters to pump the jab, think Vladimir Klitschko, who likes fighters to use height and force an opponent to come through a jab. I think the strategy that Emmanuel Stewart teaches and the skill level that Chad Dawson, one of boxing's most underrated fighters, a fighter I have in my top 10 at Dwyer top10boxing.blogspot.com, with Dawson's competency and Emmanuel Stewart's blueprint on using a jab to dictate tempo, I'm expecting Chad Dawson to win this fight by at least 3 to 4 rounds. I like Chad Dawson big in this one for straddlers, and I believe the smart bettors are the straddlers. I would straddle that against the over, because neither of these guys has been knocked out, right? The Pascal fight ended on cuts. These guys are impossible to stop. Let me also point out, too, that Dawson, don't sleep on him. He's beaten current cruiserweight champion Antonio Tarver twice. He's beaten Glenn Johnson twice. He is the guy who gave Tomas Ademic his last loss. I believe Dawson, quite frankly, is a bigger version of Floyd Mayweather. He is an excellent fighter. I think this is his coming out party. As much as I like Hopkins, who I picked over an unbeaten Pavlik, and who I picked over Jean Pascal, as much as I like Hopkins, I'm going with Chad Dawson here. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here on YouTube. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. All I ask is that after the fight, win, lose, or draw, stop by with your post-fight comments so we can all discuss them. Thanks.